Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in this world. God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the King James Version of the Holy Bible. We are in the book of Romans, and we are in chapter 3. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? The circumcision. Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles or sayings of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith or faithfulness of God without effect? God forbid. You know Paul, which means certainly not. Yea, let God be true, found true, but every man a liar, as it is written, and this is in all caps, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome them or overcome when thou art judged. But if our unrighteousness commend or demonstrates the righteousness of God, what shall we say? Is God unrighteous who taketh vengeance or inflicts wrath? I speak as a man. And we know that in the end times God is coming to judge the wicked and the sinners and the unrighteous. Now in verse 6 here, Paul again says, God forbid, which means certainly not. For then how shall God judge the world? For if the truth of God hath more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just. They're being told that what they're doing is against what God has told man to do. What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise. For we have before proved, both Jews and Gentiles, that they are all under sin. All men sin. In verse 10, as it is written, and this is in all caps, from verse 10 through verse 18. Verse 10, there is none righteous, no, not one. Verse 11, there is none that understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God. Verse 12, they are all gone out of the way, they are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. 13, their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips. Verse 14, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Verse 15, their feet are swift to shed blood. Verse 16, destruction and misery are in their ways. Verse 17, and the way of peace have they not known. And verse 18, there is no fear of God before their eyes. Now verse 19 is back to normal text. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law. The law only speaks to those who are under the law. If you are under Jesus Christ, you are under grace. So now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore, by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. But now the righteousness of God, without the law is manifested. And this is or set apart. But now the righteousness of God, set apart, or without the law, is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. That the law doesn't justify us. We're still unrighteous. Even the righteousness of God, which is by faith of Jesus Christ, unto all and upon all them that believe. For there is no difference. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, or fall short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace. This is the beauty. The gift of Christ is his grace. Being justified freely, or without any cost, by his grace, through the redemption that is in Jesus Christ. Verse 25. Whom God hath set forth to be a propitiation, or a mercy seat, through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness, or to demonstrate his righteousness, for the remission, or the passing over of sins that are past, through the forbearance of God. To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believeth in Jesus. Remember, no man cometh to the Father except through the Son. And it says, if you believe on him, that you will have everlasting life. Verse 27. Where is boasting then? What are you boasting about? It is excluded. By what law? Of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. That is what we need. We need faith in Jesus Christ, to believe that he died, was buried, rose from the dead, and defeated death, and ascended into heaven to the right hand of God the Father Almighty, and that he can offer us eternal salvation through the forgiveness of our sins. But do you believe that? If you believe that, that's your faith. How strongly do you believe that? Because if you have faith the size of the grain of a mustard seed, you could say to a mountain, move over yonder, and it would. Just that tiny little bit of faith, however so small as a grain of mustard seed. Therefore it says, he is the God of Jews. Is he the God of Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. Seeing it is one God, which shall justify the circumcision by faith, which is the circumcision of the heart, and uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Commandments. We keep his commandments. Jesus said, pick up your cross and follow him and keep his commandments. So that justifies us. Now, it's beautiful. The words of the Bible are beautiful, but they're food for our soul. They're directions for us to live by. It's so important. They are also the sword of the Spirit. That's our sword, which is the armor of God, spoken of in Ephesians chapter 6, whereby we don, or we put on, the full armor of God to fight against the wiles of the devil. For this is not a fleshly battle. This is a spiritual battle. That's why our prayers are so important. That's why our relationship with God is so important. That's why we set aside time to read and study the Bible and to pray. And all day long, I'm saying, oh, Father, oh, Father, oh, Father, all day long. It's really unbelievable. But there's more to prayer than just saying, oh, Father. I mean, there's to pray for one another. There's pray for those that we have laborers to go into the harvest. That's very important. As a matter of fact, that's the next thing I'm going to do is a little study on what we should pray for. And as always, I love you.